You're on mute, Abhi. You're on mute.
Good evening, everyone. Like all other sessions, we are here for one more very interesting session. Thanks to Mr. Amundsen, who did it for us in 1911. And now thanks to Debdip, who will take us through those, what happened and how is Antarctica in last 110 years since we know it. Debdip and Somen, both are very good friend of mine, and we look forward to a very interesting session. Lucky are those who have joined it, and I think there will be equally lucky people who will be seeing it in YouTube recording. Over to Somen.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone on this call, depending on where you are located. I'll start with a brief introduction and then hand it over to Debdip to carry through the rest of the session. A few housekeeping rules. We would try and have the presentation flow and have question answers towards the end of the session. This is to ensure we do not lose time along the way. If you are sitting with your families and have kids at home, I would encourage that you have your kids also join this session so that they would also find it very interesting. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. A journey to the wonderland called Antarctica, a journey to a much more than 1,000 miles. In fact, more than 6,500 miles or 10,000 kilometers had in fact begun with a single step. Inspiration came from one of Debdip's colleagues who had just returned from this amazing wilderness. He was still in two minds. However, he had a constant moral boost up from his fellow batchmates to go for it. And so it began. After passing out in 1987 from Birla High School in Calcutta, Debdip took to graduation with physics honors from Maulana Azad College, Calcutta. He went on to do his post-graduation with specialization in nuclear physics from University of Kalyani. It was during his post-graduation days that he got selected in the Indian Meteorological Department, or IMD as we know it, and this was the year 1993. Apart from regular departmental courses, he was selected to undertake numerical weather prediction course and subsequently was sent to MetStar Beijing to complete a full-fledged operation and maintenance first and factory training of would-be installed areas of Doppler weather radars along the eastern and western coasts, which were vulnerable to tropical cyclones. He had his stint in radar meteorology while managing the IMD DWRs installed at Agartala, Patna, and Calcutta. Right now, he is assigned to manage aviation meteorological services at the Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport in Calcutta. So if your flight is delayed due to weather and you're stuck at the airport, you know who to catch hold of. Brothers and sisters who are attending today, I present to you Antarctica through the eyes of our very own Debdip. Over to you, Debdip.
So a very warm welcome to everybody. Greetings of the day, wherever you are, because we have a global audience now. As we can see that Ritesh is traveling. He is in Luxembourg, and so is many other our batchmates. So very warm welcome to everybody. Greetings of the day. Thanks to organizers who have launched this platform. This is a very wonderful way in which we interact with our ex-students in various fields. So various kinds of discussions go in here, and everybody is enriched. So I have been told by Ritesh quite a long time back that your will be in January. So according to that, whatever resources I have gathered, and I will try to enlighten you as much as possible about the nation's very well developed Antarctic program, which has been on the run since the last 41 years. This year, uh, under MOES, NCPR, that is National Council of Polar and Ocean Research, that is situated at Goa, Vasco da Gama, Goa, they have been able to launch the 41st. Now, ever since 40th and 41st expeditions, it was very much crippled. It was not very much, I mean, partially, I should say, it was crippled by this global scourge that is happening. Because I should say it's a global affair, because you have to do a lot of traveling, and then you have to pick the resources from various places while on the expedition. And then it is being taken there. So by now, there has been no reports of anybody contracting COVID and reaching there. So up till now, this much of information, because I left in April 2021 last from Antarctica. And since then, I have not heard about this. So a lot of care has been taken so that this last wilderness of ours remains free from COVID virus. So up till now, it has been so. So in this, program of this Adda session, I should say it's an Adda session. It has to be very informal. Not formal like other webinars and all. So anybody, I suppose a lot of questions will be there, because people think that maybe it's very tough. People think that it's very easy or whatever. So whatever queries you have, and especially kids will be around. So kids must see this program. They are the future budding, aspiring people who will be traveling to this part of the world. And maybe they'll do a lot of things in their future things, as well as our younger brothers, as well as our generation people who wish to be there. So what are the program that India runs there, and how would you participate in that program? Can anybody go there as a tourist or not? So all these questions must be popping up in your mind. So a lot of questions must be there. So please feel free to raise these questions. Don't hesitate. I'm just like you. I have been a student of Debdip. I passed out in 1985, and 78 to 85. Those days there were no class 12 there. So later on I came to Calcutta, and there I did my +2. So having said this, what else I have to say? So I'll be giving up the brief things. Most of you know that Avijit just said that Antarctic expeditions without naming Shackleton and Amundsen, you can't move, because they were the pioneers who did this. So all these things I'll be touching. So most of the informations are there in the public domain, but still I feel to say something about Antarctica, this must be there. So having said that, I should share my screen. I will go through the slides one by one. So some slides will be, I'll just breeze through them, and some slides I'll stop to explain you in a detailed manner. Now, before doing this, let me give you a brief description of how India does expedition in Antarctica. Now, if you consider the chronological part, there are 3 varieties. The first one is the summer part. Like now it is summers in the southern hemisphere. So the summers are there in Antarctica too. So what happens, because during this summer, the snow cover melts, and geologists and lake scientists who do researches on fossils and all these people, they get a chance to excavate the bare soil there. So mostly during the summer, a lot of scientists do go there, and they fulfill their projects. So this is the first part. The second part is the winter part. Now those people who stay there in Antarctica for year long, I mean, they'll have to stay there for 12 months. So during those time, it will be obviously snow covered mostly. So if you talk of geologists, now it will be not a very good way. It is not a very wise, prudent way to take geologists during the winters, because during that time, mostly geologists won't be dealing with ice. So they are the people who deal with rock and, I mean, soil and all these things. So it is futile to take geologists then. So who are these people who stay there during Antarctica in the winters? They are like me, meteorologist. I'm a meteorologist. I'm by profession a meteorologist. So obviously, meteorology is such a science in which you have to be there to record the data, to monitor the data, how it is, to researches on the various phenomena which are occurring there. So obviously, meteorologists have a chance to be there. Now, another bunch of people who stay there, as I have seen in our expeditions, those are the Indian Institute of Geomagnetism people. Geomagnetism people do stay there. They have to study about the geomagnetism, solar flares, geomagnetism, all these things they study. So they also stay there. As well as there are ISRO people who actually watch the flyby of the satellites in the polar region, those polar satellites which are there. So they have to take down the data from there, whatever the cache. I mean, since the satellite is scanning a lot of area, so it will be picking up a lot of data. So it has to deposit its cache. So these people, ISRO people, are there to monitor this. So wherever something launch is happening, so they are informed properly. They also monitor from there. So it's a monitoring station. ISRO people stay there. Apart from them, doctors, engineers, a lot of logistics people have to stay during winters, because logistics people, they are the people who are the backbone of these scientific activities which run year long in Antarctica. So these logistics people are welders, electricians, then you have doctors, nurses, mostly male nurses there, female nurses not there. As well as you have vehicle mechanic, because a lot of vehicles are there, you have to maintain them. Now, vehicle electrician has to be there. Next is your JCB operators have to be there. Now, crane operators have to be there. All these, I mean, logistics people make around, say, 60% of the total composition of the team. As well as chef is also there. During my time, one person from Gaya, Bihar, he was the chef there. So I gelled with him very nicely. So the people used to enjoy very much, since the leader is gelling very much with the chef. So food used to be very nice. And this is one very important thing that has to be taken very care of during winters, because आप घर से दूर हो और आपको ढंग का खाना अगर नहीं मिल रहा है, और चूंकि ये भारतीय अभियान है, तो इसमें क्या है, साउथ इंडियंस भी हैं, उसमें नॉर्थ इंडियंस भी हैं, उसमें ईस्ट इंडियंस भी हैं, वेस्ट इंडियंस भी हैं. तो ऑब्वियसली ये चारों दिशाओं की जो खाने का ढंग है, ये एक तरह का नहीं है. इट्स वेरी वेरिड. So chef had sometimes nightmarish sessions. He had to deal with this. कि सर महाराष्ट्र से जो है वो सिर्फ तूर दाल खाना पसंद कर रहे हैं, सर नॉर्थ इंडिया से जो है वो बोल रहे हैं राजमा चावल बनेगा, तो सर आप डिसीजन लीजिए कि आज क्या बनेगा. So it is something like that. I mean, it's a very interesting thing that expedition में ऐसा भी होता है. Now this has to be taken care of very very carefully. Food बहुत ही वैरायटी का फूड वहां पर दिया जाता है सबको, ताकि सब लोग अपना घर का खाना एज मच एज पॉसिबल वहां एंजॉय करें, ताकि वो ठीक ठाक से आउटपुट भी दे सके इस एक्सपेडिशन में. बिकॉज एक्सपेडिशन में क्या है, जैसा हम लोग विद्यापीठ का जो हमारा एजुकेशन है, विद्यापीठ का जो हमारा जीवन शैली जो हम लोगों ने सीखा है विद्यापीठ में, उसका काफी इस्तेमाल एंटार्क्टिकन एक्सपेडिशन में मुझे तो मिला. मुझे बहुत फायदा हुआ क्योंकि मैं विद्यापीठ से पास आउट हूँ. तो हम लोग बहुत छोटे से ही धाम नीटनेस वगैरह सब कुछ खुद ही किया करते थे. गार्डनिंग, ये सब लोगों को पता है, सिंस आई एम टॉकिंग टू द सेम बंच ऑफ पीपल, सो एवरीबॉडी नोज दैट इन विद्यापीठ व्हाट वी डिड. सो दैट केम वेरी हैंडी ड्यूरिंग माय एक्सपीडिशन टू एंटार्क्टिका. वहां सब कुछ करना पड़ता है क्योंकि वहां आपके लिए कोई दूसरा नहीं रहेगा. बाथरूम साफ करने के लिए, टॉयलेट साफ करने के लिए कोई दूसरा वहां से आदमी को नहीं लिया जाता है, बिकॉज seats are limited. Only 25 people can be accommodated in expedition each year in one station. India has 2 stations now. So winter में दोनों स्टेशन मिलाकर मैक्सिमम 50 लोग रह सकते हैं, और उसके लिए आपको किसी दूसरे तरीका कोई इंतजाम नहीं है, सब कुछ आपको ही करना पड़ेगा। आपको नॉनवेज भी काटना है, अगर आप नॉनवेज नहीं भी लेते हो तो वहां पर आपको नॉनवेज भी काटना पड़ेगा, शेफ के साथ आपको हेल्प करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप कुकिंग नहीं जानते हो तो आप सीख जाओगे एक्सपीडिशन के अंत में, एक्सपीडिशन के मिडिल में या शुरुआत के 3 महीने में आप खाना बनाना भी सीख जाओगे। ऐसा होता है। आपको रोटी ठीक से गोल नहीं करने आता है, वो भी आप सीख जाओगे 2 महीने के अंदर। तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है, लेकिन कभी कभी टसल भी हो जाती है, क्योंकि लोग अपने घर परिवार से दूर है। आजकल तो इंटरनेट की सुविधा है वहां पर, इंटरनेट काफी हद तक लोग इस्तेमाल भी कर रहे हैं। भारतीय स्टेशन में करीब हमें 4 MBPS का वाईफाई भी मिलता है, लेकिन उस पर भी लोगों का बहुत धमाल चलता है कि सर मेरे रूम में वाईफाई नहीं मिल रहा है, उसको वाईफाई मिल रहा है। तो काफी रोचक कहानियां भी एंटार्क्टिका एक्सपीडिशन में होती हैं। तो leader has to bear the brunt because he is the person on whom the buck finally stops. सभी जो grudges हैं, it ultimately will come to the leader. Now leader has to take care of everybody. कि सर मुझे नेट क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है, उसे नेट मिल रहा है। So what is the reason behind this? आप वो जो स्विच है उसका लोकेशन चेंज करो। काफी बार ये भी मुझे सुनने को आया है। तो ये सब चीजें लेकर फिर घर से सपोज कोई खुशी की न्यूज आई तो उसमें सब कोई हम लोग जश्न मनाते हैं। इसके बाद किसी की अगर दुख की कोई न्यूज आई, किसी का डेथ हो गया है, तो इन दैट केस वी शेयर विद एवरीबॉडी। पर्टिकुलरली साइकोलॉजी इज सच ए थिंग व्हिच हैज टू वेरी मच टेकन केयर ऑफ। यहाँ पर डिप्रेस्ड हो जाने की बहुत ज्यादा संभावना हो सकती है। तो इसीलिए हर दिन एक बार सुबह को मीटिंग लिया जाता है कि आज की जो एक्टिविटीज हैं उसको कैसे हम चलाएं, उसके लिए क्या क्या किया जाए, उसके लिए क्या सुझाव है। आज इलेक्ट्रिशियन की मुझे जरूरत है, लेकिन इलेक्ट्रिशियन कह रहा है कि नहीं उसे उस तरफ जाना है, तो आज इलेक्ट्रिशियन उसको नहीं मिलेगा। तो एज वेल एज एक आदमी को सुबह को आई टू आई कांटेक्ट करने से पता चल जाता है कि हाउ दिस पर्सन इज विद इन हिम, उसके अंदर क्या चल रहा है। यू गेट टू लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स। तो ये सब चीजें भी हैं एंटार्क्टिका एक्सपीडिशन में। सो बीइंग ए लीडर आई हैड टू फेस ऑल दिस। लोग बीमार उतना नहीं होते हैं, बिकॉज क्या है कि एज यू आर सिलेक्टेड to be a member in the Antarctic expedition, the first thing that we do, we have to reach Delhi. वहां हमें एम्स के अंडर में मेडिकल चेकअप एज वेल एज साइकोलॉजिकल चेकअप किया जाता है कि आपकी साइकोलॉजिकल जो क्षमता है वो कितनी दूर तक है, what much you can, आप कितनी दूर तक झेल सकते हो। आप दूर रहोगे तो क्या हो सकता है, साइकोलॉजिकली you will be facing trouble। तो इज इट पॉसिबल कि आप 1 साल रहकर वहां झेल लोगे सारी चीजें। तो मेडिकल और साइकोलॉजिकल दोनों करने के बाद उसके बाद हमें सौंप दिया जाता है ITBP के पास, इंडो टिबेटन बॉर्डर पुलिस। इंडो टिबेटन बॉर्डर पुलिस यू ऑल नो, इट्स अ सेमी मिलिट्री पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस यू कैन से। सो ITBP फोर्सेस वहां हमें औली उत्तराखंड के औली है, मोस्ट ऑफ यू नो, इट इज वेरी क्लोज टू आवर बद्रीनाथ। सो हमें वहां भेज दिया जाता है। औली में there is a mountaineering and ski institute of ITBP। तो वहां हमें ट्रेकिंग, रैपलिंग, रॉक क्लाइंबिंग, इसके अलावा टेंट पेगिंग, इसके अलावा रिवर क्रॉसिंग वगैरह सब कुछ का ट्रेनिंग दिया जाता है। तो ये सब करने के बाद टीम भावना आप में कितनी है, एक टीम के साथ आप रह सकते हो कि नहीं। यानी कि सपोज इफ यू आर अ डॉक्टर और आपको कहा गया कि आज का खाना आपको बनाना है, लेकिन आपने कह दिया कि नहीं भाई मुझसे खाना नहीं बन सकता है, मैं तो डॉक्टर हूं। ऐसा अगर किसी ने कह दिया तो दैट ऑब्वियसली डजंट गो वेरी गुड फॉर हिम, इट डजंट फेवर हिम एज ए टीम मेंबर। सो ऐसी चीजें अवॉइड करनी है। सपोज आपको खाना अगर नहीं बनाना आता है तो यू विल देन से कि नहीं चलो भाई हम किसी की सहायता ले लेते हैं, हम रहते हैं, कुछ मदद कर देंगे, हमें तो डायरेक्ट खाना बनाना नहीं आता है लेकिन हम मदद कर सकते हैं। तो ऐसी चीजें वहां देखी जाती हैं। ऐसी चीजें देखे जाने के बाद फाइनली वी आर आस्क्ड टू असेंबल एट गोवा। गोवा से फिर वहां पर फायर ट्रेनिंग होता है हमारा, क्योंकि एंटार्क्टिका एज यू नो इज अ वेरी रिच ओजोन रिच प्लेस। यहाँ ऑक्सीजन, तो ओजोन सिंस इट्स अ वेरी रिच प्लेस, ऑब्वियसली ऑक्सीजन इज आल्सो वेरी मच अबंडेंट देयर। सो अगर वहां आग लगती है, इफ देयर इज एनी चांस ऑफ कैचिंग फायर एट एनी इंस्टॉलेशंस देयर, so it will be very tough on us to extinguish that. So you have to be very careful on this. तो after having this undertaking this fire training at that is a Panjim में हमें ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है फायर की स्टेट इंस्टीट्यूट में उनकी. After that, there is another training which is given to us regarding ship orientations. Suppose if you have to travel by ship, so most of us have not undertaking in journey in ships. Those of you who have taken, they know that suppose 7 बार अगर वो जो हॉर्न है 7 बार अगर कॉन्स्टेंटली बजी तो उसका मतलब क्या होता है, स्टार साइट क्या होता है, पोर्ट साइट क्या होता है, मास्टर स्टेशन किसे कहते हैं. तो इसकी ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है कि आपातकालीन स्थिति में अगर जहाज में आग लग गया या जहाज टिल्ट होने लगा, लिस्टिंग हो रही है जहाज की, तो उस समय क्या करना है. आप पोर्ट साइड में रहते हो तो मास्टर स्टेशन आपकी कौन सी है. 2 मिनट के अंदर आपको बॉडी बैग्स पहन लेना पड़ेगा और आपको तुरंत मास्टर स्टेशन में दीपो. तो इसकी ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है. इसकी ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद हमारी जो लगेज है उसको रेडी करने के बाद हमें there is a route. The route is that from Goa we come to Mumbai and from Mumbai we fly to, I mean the ultimate destination has to be Cape Town. Cape Town हमें पहुंचना है तो उसकी बहुत सारे रूट्स होती है. इधर आप गल्फ से जाओ या आप अड्डीस अबाबा से जाओ या केनिया से जाओ. So there is a stopover. तो वहां होते होकर अल्टीमेटली द डेस्टिनेशन इज केप टाउन. केप टाउन में आपको 3 दिन का एक एक्लेमेटाइजेशन दिया जाता है कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सिंस यू हैव पास्ड इनटू साउदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, तो यहाँ 3 दिन आप थोड़ा एक्लेमेटाइज कर लो. एक्लेमेटाइज करने के बाद देन यू विल देन द फाइनल जर्नी स्टार्ट्स. दोज ऑफ अस हु आर विल बी डूइंग विंटर्स, they are taken by flight. Now you will be very astonished to know that near to our Maitri station, Maitri is our second Indian base. The first Indian base is Dakshin Gangotri. I'll be coming to that after a short while. So Maitri के पास एक नोवोलाज़ारेव्स्काया रशियन एक एयर बेस है. वहाँ IL-76 या बोइंग के सहारे हमें वहाँ पहुँचा दिया जाता है. The flight takes 6 hours from Cape Town to Novolazarevskaya Air Base. So वहाँ पहुँचने के बाद those of us who will be doing winters in Maitri, they will be taken to Maitri by piston bully. मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा piston bully देखने में कैसी होती है. That's a camel. That's our camel in the Antarctica. बहुत अच्छी व्हीकल है, ट्रैक वाली व्हीकल है, जस्ट लाइक टैंक. तो उसके सहारे हम वहाँ पर केबिन लगाई जाती है. तो वो हमारी बस है, उसमें बैठकर हम सफर करते हैं, मैत्री पहुंच जाते हैं. इसके अलावा जो भारतीय स्टेशन जाने वाले पैसेंजर्स हैं उनको फिर 2-1 दिन मैत्री में स्टे करने के बाद एज इज द वेदर कंडीशन इज ओके, उन्हें एक कनेक्टिंग फ्लाइट से भारतीय स्टेशन लिया जाता है. दोनों स्टेशनों के बीच में अंतर करीब 3500 किलोमीटर का है. लैटिट्यूडनली दिस बोथ स्टेशंस आर लोकेटेड इन 69 डिग्री साउथ एंड 70 डिग्री साउथ मोर और लेस. बट लॉन्गिट्यूडनली भारतीय स्टेशन इज लोकेटेड जस्ट बिलो कराची. यू कैन से कराची से अगर आप एक सीधे रेखा खींचोगे नीचे की तरफ साउथ पोल की तरफ, तो आप एंटार्क्टिका जिस पॉइंट पर आपकी टच होगी उस पॉइंट हमारी भारतीय स्टेशन है. दैट इज एट 76 डिग्री लॉन्गिट्यूड. इंडिया में कानपुर, दैट इज द IST, बेस्ड ऑन दैट IST रन्स, दैट इज एट 82.5 डिग्री. तो 6 डिग्री का अंतर है, यानी कि 6 into 4 24 मिनट्स, यानी कि 30 मिनट्स. उसको राउंड ऑफ करके 30 मिनट्स. तो वी आर पाकिस्तान स्टैंडर्ड टाइम के मुताबिक चलती है. इट एक्चुअली सिंक्स विद पाकिस्तान स्टैंडर्ड टाइम. लेकिन ऑन द अदर हैंड मैत्री स्टेशन इज एट 11 डिग्री लॉन्गिट्यूड, सो इट फॉलोज ग्रीनिच मीन टाइम, GMT फॉलो किया जाता है वहां पर. तो वहां से मैत्री से देयर इज अ फ्लाइट व्हिच टेक्स यू टू भारती. तो भारती के पास भी प्रोग्रेस एयर स्ट्रिप है, दैट इज मेंटेन्ड बाय रशियंस. तो दैट फ्लाइट टेक्स अराउंड 10 आवर्स. बीच में रिफ्यूलिंग के लिए उसे एलिजाबेथ स्टेशन बेल्जियम का है या तो शियोवा स्टेशन जापान का है, वहां उतरकर आपको रिफ्यूलिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है. रिफ्यूलिंग करने के बाद फिर नेक्स्ट 5 आवर्स वो लो फ्लाइंग फ्लाइट है. तो अल्टीमेटली 10 घंटे के बाद वी रीच भारती. फिर भारती से हम व्हाट इज दैट प्रोग्रेस एयरबेस में पहुंचते हैं. प्रोग्रेस एयरबेस से हम भारती की तरफ पहुंच जाते हैं. अराउंड इट टेक्स अराउंड 1 hour टू रीच भारती स्टेशन फ्रॉम दैट प्रोग्रेस एयरबेस. So this is the basic things which I am saying about the Indian Antarctic program. इसके अलावा समर एंड विंटर हो गया. इसके अलावा देयर इज अ थर्ड कंपोनेंट दैट इज कॉल्ड वॉयज. नाउ यू मस्ट बी वेरी मच वरीड अबाउट कि एक साल तक वहाँ लोग रहते हैं तो खाते क्या हैं, खाना कहाँ से आता है, वहाँ तो कुछ ग्रो नहीं करता है. इट्स अ बैरन प्लेस, इट्स नथिंग, इट्स अ डेजर्ट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. नथिंग ग्रोज देयर, नॉट अ सिंगल लीफ यू कैन सी. कोई ग्रीन वेजिटेशन है ही नहीं वहाँ पर, सिर्फ आइस एंड आइस. सो एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी टेकन फ्रॉम द मेनलैंड. सो चावल, दाल, आटा सब कुछ इंडिया से पहुंचाया जाता है शिप से. शिप से केप टाउन पहुंचती है. केप टाउन से फर्दर एक रशियन शिप ली जाती है, आइस क्लास शिप. उस शिप से उसमें कुछ पैसेंजर्स भी रहते हैं, दोज आर द वॉयज मेंबर्स, जो कि दोनों स्टेशंस में सप्लाईज देने जाते हैं. एज वेल एज देयर आर साइंटिफिक पीपल आल्सो, दे डू सम साइंस व्हाइल ऑन द वे टू एंटार्क्टिका. जैसे जैसे लॉन्गिट्यूड चेंज होता है तो उसके मुताबिक उनकी साइंस जो है, कोई डेप्थ में कुछ मिसाइल जैसी कुछ चीजें छोड़कर टेम्परेचर की प्रोफाइल बना रहा है. इस तरह की बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स भी वो कैरी करते हैं व्हाइल ऑन द शिप. और इसके अलावा वॉयज की जो मेन पर्पस है दैट इज टू सप्लाई द थिंग्स एंड फूड, fuel. Fuel is one very important thing that has, without which Antarctica is you can't exist, because there is no power station there. So obviously 2 generators run simultaneously at both the stations. So what is the fuel that we use? That is the aviation turbine fuel, because diesel अगर use करें तो freeze हो सकती है. डीजल फ्रीज होने की संभावना है, तो ऐसे में हम लोग एविएशन टर्बाइन फ्यूल. तो बोथ द स्टेशंस आर गिवन सम अराउंड 350 किलोलीटर्स ऑफ ऑयल. 350 किलोलीटर्स ऑफ ऑयल बोथ द स्टेशंस को प्रोवाइड किया जाता है, along with food, supplies, machineries, medicines, everything. So वो शिप 1 महीने दोनों स्टेशंस में रहती है. वहां पर सब कुछ देने के बाद, as well as it has to take the backload, because Antarctica, you must be knowing, that's a no dumping place. आप वहां कुछ बाहर फेंक नहीं सकते. सब कुछ आपको पैक करके साउथ अफ्रीका भेज देना पड़ता है. तो साउथ अफ्रीका इज अ प्लेस जहां पर हमारी जो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स वहां जनरेटेड होती है वो अल्टीमेटली पहुंचती है केप टाउन. केप टाउन में उसको डिस्पोज ऑफ किया जाता है. तो 1 महीने भारतीय स्टेशन, 1 महीने मैत्री स्टेशन, उसके बाद वो केप टाउन आती है. फिर केप टाउन से हम लोग बाय एयर वी रीच आवर डेस्टिनेशंस एट इंडिया. So this is the third part. So summer, winter, and voyage. These are the 3 parts in which the expedition is being run. Now I am coming to the slide presentation. So let me first know that are you able to see the slides?
Not yet.
Just a minute.
Debdip, do you need any help? You need any help? Just try to press, have the presentation open and then press share screen at the
okay
bottom.
So suppose I am not able to increase my screen. It has gone to one corner and I want to bring it. So how do I bring it?
I don't know if I can take control of your screen.
Yeah, it is there. So now I think
coming up slowly, I think.
Okay. So I think it will come.
Yeah,
in.
we can see now. Excellent. Wonderful.
Somen and India here, is it possible that the host mutes the non-speakers?
Abhijit, can you do that? Debdip, you are on mute. We can't hear you. Yeah, should be okay now.
I think I'm audible to you, everybody.
Yeah, that's fine.
So everybody, I hope everybody is able to see the screen. So it says the journey to the amazing wonderland called Antarctica. These are, since I have been to Antarctica, cumulatively, you can say around 3 years I have stayed there in these 3 expeditions. The first one I went is in the 35th Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica. ISCA is the acronym of Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica. As I said, voyage is one component of the expedition. So in my first expedition, that is the 35th expedition, 2016-17 it was there, 2015-16 it was there. So I went there as a voyage member. So I had the luck of visiting both the stations, and this you can say gave me an inspiration. I saw many installations being coming up in the future too there. So while being in Bharti, I saw that NCPR was planning to come up with a scientific atmospheric lab there. So the basic things were done. So I thought that in the next, I mean, you can see the back-to-back expedition. I went on there in the 35th expedition. The next expedition, again, I went to Antarctica. So this is back-to-back. So I had the inspiration that agar mujhe chance milta hai next time as a leader, so I'll do a lot of things regarding this atmospheric lab which is coming up there. लेकिन मुझे भारती का नहीं मिला, लेकिन उसके बाद मैं भारती में सब कुछ वॉयज की जो प्रोग्राम्स होती हैं वो करने के बाद जब मैं मैत्री पहुंचा, तो मैत्री इज सच ए स्टेशन व्हिच हैज बीन कमीशन्ड इन 1989, और वहाँ काफी चीजें जो अभी इस्तेमाल होती हैं काफी पुरानी हो चुकी है, दे हैव बिकम क्वाइट ओल्ड नाउ. तो वहाँ पर भी आई फेल्ट कि there are certain things it needs improvement. Maitri by all standards has outlived its shelf life. So it is because of our zeal, our Antarcticans की जो zeal है, अभी तक मैत्री सही सलामत चल रही है. तो it's a tradition that we follow. हम Indians में है ये चीज है कि हम एक चीज को अगर वो खत्म भी हो जाने की कगार में रहती है तो हम उसको फिर मरम्मत करके उसे फिर से खड़ा कर देते हैं. तो मैत्री सच स्टेशन, तो वहां पर मुझे फील हुआ कि if I am given this chance, I'll do a lot. I'll come to live that when I come to Maitri. I'll say that. So, and the last one, that is after 3 years, again I had a chance to be as a leader at Bharti station. So these are some genuine facts which are there in the public domain. This you all know that this is the coldest, driest, dreariest, windiest of all the continents. Now, the basic difference between Antarctica and Arctic is that Arctic is mostly sea, it's ocean. उसमें कुछ islands है. This is Arctic. Even the North Pole जो है, this is a imaginary point on the ocean itself. It's not something on land. So इसके लिए क्या है कि आर्कटिक में since it's you have a moderating factor there, क्योंकि आपको अगर समुद्र का पानी वहां है तो it will do the moderation on temperature. तो इसके लिए क्या है, आर्कटिक though you have seen that it's also very cold, बहुत cold है वहां पर, almost same kind of features, but आप अगर comparative study, scientific study करो तो आपको देखने को मिलेगा कि एवरेज टेम्परेचर एंटार्क्टिका में कम है इन कंपैरिजन टू आर्कटिक. और उसका रीजन भी है बिकॉज एंटार्क्टिका quite contrary to Arctic is a place which is mostly having land mass. So obviously we know from our geographical knowledge that लैंड मास रहने से क्या होता है और सी रहने से क्या होता है, सी ब्रीज एंड लैंड ब्रीज moderating factor, everybody knows, so I am not going to the factor. So these are some general facts which have been mentioned here. So as I said, the lowest temperature that has been recorded on Earth is -89.2. This is the official temperature. Official temperature that was recorded in Vostok Station. Vostok Station is around say 2,500 or around 3,000 kilometers, 2,800 kilometers away from Bharti Station. Vostok Station में जो convoy है, convoy is such a thing, आपको supplies पहुंचाने हैं तो those stations which are in the coastal region, वहां तो आपको जहाज आराम से सब कुछ आपको प्रोवाइड कर देगा, लेकिन जो स्टेशन इंटीरियर में है अंटार्कटिका के, तो वहां प्रोवाइड करने के लिए आपको कॉन्वॉय रन करना पड़ता है, माने फ्लीट ऑफ व्हीकल्स, जैसे काफिला, प्राइम मिनिस्टर का कॉन्वॉय जा रहा है तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कार्स इन दैट. सो यहाँ पर कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं है, सो देयर आर व्हीकल्स व्हिच आर कैरिंग सप्लाईज. सो ये दिस सप्लाईज हैज टू गो देयर. सो ये भारतीय स्टेशन के पास से ही इनकी जो कॉन्वॉय है वोस्टॉक स्टेशन की, वो करीब उनको 16 दिन एक तरफ जाने में लगता है और लौटने में 16 दिन लगता है. इट्स अ वेरी टफ जर्नी. जो रशियंस हैं, रशियंस आर accustomed to withstand this much of temperature. So I talked a lot. So this is the lowest temperature, that is -89.2, that has been recorded at Vostok Station. Vostok Station is far away from us. As well as, though you can see that -94.7 has been recorded from space, but meteorologically क्या है, meteorological definition जो है, according to that, -89.2 is the lowest temperature. So based on that, there are organisms which are present there in forms of algae, bacteria, fungi, plants, protista, and certain other mites, nematodes, penguins, seals, and tardigrades. So this is the orthographic projection. If you stand just over South Pole से आप काफी ऊपर चले जाओ, this you can see from space. एक तरफ this place, this is the South American continent. So South American continent is extending. This is the peninsular part of Antarctica. This is Africa. So this is the place. So this is the place from where our expedition starts. This Cape Town. You can see the laser out there. So यहाँ से we fly to around this place. यहाँ fly करके आते हैं हम. Straight. This is somewhere around here is located your Novolazarevskaya runway. And here is your Australian part. So हमारे भारतीय स्टेशन के पास ये डेवी स्टेशन. So ये लोग भी अपना एंटार्क्टिक एक्सपीडिशन जो है ऑस्ट्रेलिया से भी काफी होबार्ट से लॉन्च करते हैं. होबार्ट इज इन टास्मेनिया. दिस इज होबार्ट. सो दिस ऑस्ट्रेलियन एंटार्क्टिक डिविजन इज मोस्टली बेस्ड एट होबार्ट. सो फ्रॉम देयर ऑल देयर शिप्स एंड फ्लाइट्स दे लॉन्च. So this is a brief history of what happened in Antarctica, who went there. Russian expedition 1819, 1821 led by Bellinghausen. So these are already there. I need not go into details into this. So we'll finally come to Shackleton and Amundsen. And now these are the two pioneers who attempted to reach South Pole. Now in this respect, I must say that India has one expedition to South Pole. South Pole जाने वाली एक ही expedition है that happened in the year. That means 39th expedition or 40th expedition was in 2020. 2010-11 में हुआ था. 2010-11 में there were 8 people who traveled to South Pole. That is the Amundsen Scott Station. Now South Pole, exact South Pole में अभी Amundsen Scott Station, that is US station is there. So वहां पहुंचने की श्रेय मिली थी 8 भारतीयों को. तो ये 8 भारतीय mostly around 3 or 4 people have retired from their services. So 5 people are still there. ये लोग गए थे and they went there in a vehicle. It was a polar vehicle. They took their journey. It was an 8 days journey from Maitri. Maitri station से 8 दिन जर्नी करने के बाद वो साउथ पोल पहुंचे थे और वहां पहुंचने के बाद चंद घंटे वहां बिताने के बाद फिर वो लोग वापस आ गए. So these are the people. Now हमारी इंडिया की साउथ पोल की एक्सपेडिशन 2010-11 में हुई थी और जहाँ की आप देख पा रहे हो कि 1909 में Ernest Shackleton was the person who reached within 97 miles of South Pole. So obviously, 1909 or 2010, it is more than 100 years. So you must be knowing how much of hardship they must have faced to reach this place. उस समय साइंस भी इतनी डेवलप नहीं थी, तो उनके पास काफी चीजें भी नहीं थी, उतनी अच्छी जहाजें नहीं थी, आइस ब्रेकर्स वगैरह ये सब नहीं था, लेकिन स्टिल इट वाज देयर ह्यूमन ज़ील व्हिच made them. So it was quite unfortunate that Shackleton, after doing so much of hardship, so much इतना hardship सहने के बाद भी 97 miles from South Pole के अंदर आकर वो फिर वापस जाना पड़ा, and it was finally Roald Amundsen who reached South Pole. So this is the present day Antarctica. If you are not seeing any orthographic projection, you are seeing Antarctica as a whole. So यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो काफी जॉर्ज लैंड, Wilkes Land, Queen Mary Land, Wilhelm Land, Princess Elizabeth Land, but you don't see any Indian land there. You don't see some Jawahar Land or some Atal Land. You are not able to see because we are quite late here. So what happens? Antarctica में भी colonialism की थोड़ी सी जंग चली. वहां पर जो ऑस्ट्रेलियंस हैं उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, एंटार्क्टिका हमारी है. अर्जेंटाइन पेनिनसुला के पास के लोग तो कहने लगे कि नहीं, पेनिनसुलर पार्ट जो है हमारी है. उधर नॉर्वे के लोग तो कहने लगे भाई एमंडसन तो वहां पर सबसे पहले फ्लैग लगाए थे तो वो तो हमारा हुआ. तो इस तरह से उसको लेकर भी चलने लगा जंग, यानी कि एंटार्क्टिका को लेकर भी जंग छिड़ गया. और अल्टीमेटली इट वाज थ्रू सम मीडिएशन दैट इट वाज स्टॉप्ड. In the Cold War era, Russians had set up around 8 stations in Antarctica. और वहाँ उनकी बहुत डिटेल में प्रोग्राम थी, how to launch missiles from there or to bomb US. बहुत तरह की plans थी. Ultimately, all these plans were put to rest because Antarctica को अगर आप disturb करोगे, now it is clear to everybody that this is, if you are considering a thermodynamic engine, तो उसमें एक सोर्स का जरूरत पड़ती है, सोर्स की जरूरत पड़ती है, एक सिंक की जरूरत पड़ती है. तो एंटार्क्टिका इज आवर सिंक एंड इन बिटवीन दिस रन्स अ थर्मोडायनामिक इंजन. तो हमारी, आप अगर एंटार्क्टिका को किसी भी तरह से अगर बर्बाद किया, यहाँ की इकोसिस्टम को अगर बर्बाद किया, तो इट विल बी वेरी वेरी कॉस्टली फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी. दैट्स फॉर श्योर. सो पीपल हैव रियलाइज्ड. सो इन 1959 a treaty came. I am coming to that. So as I said, these are the various territorial claims of Australia, Norway, and unclaimed area. So this was the treaty system that I was talking. Ki Antarctica has to be used only for scientific purpose. This was the motto of this. There is no colonialism there. You cannot use this continent for your military purposes. आप इसका इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते. तो the main treaty, शायद 11 signatories initially थे, 11 या 12 signatories थे, if I am not sure. And this was opened for signature on December 1, 1959. It was written, came into force in June 23rd, 1961. So December 1 is taken to be the day of Antarctica Day. Every year in whole world, Antarctica Day is celebrated on December 1. ताकि लोगों को याद दिलाया जाए कि एंटार्क्टिक ट्रीटी सिस्टम के मुताबिक आप एंटार्क्टिका को इस्तेमाल मिलिट्री पर्पस या कोई अपार्ट फ्रॉम साइंस इसका इस्तेमाल आप नहीं कर सकते. कोई एक्सप्लोरेशन करने लगे वहां पर, कोई कहे कि नहीं यहाँ से हम जो पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स, पेट्रोलियम है जो वहां से मैं एक्सट्रैक्ट करके अपने देश में ले जाऊंगा. सो दिस इज नॉट अलाउड. इट इज सिंपली नॉट अलाउड. सो लेटर ऑन India joined this treaty, I suppose in 1980 or 81. It was during Indira Gandhi that India became a signatory to this Antarctic treaty system. So those countries which have become signatories to the Antarctic treaty system, they have to send their annual expedition team to Antarctica. So this is the main reason कि हर साल चाहे कोविड हो जाए या कोई दूसरी महामारी का भी दिखाई दे प्रकोप, आपको हर साल एक टीम भेजना है एंटार्क्टिका में दोनों स्टेशंस में रहने के लिए. Now these are the various stations which came up after. Now this map has further progressed, and you can see that 31 national Antarctic programs are there which run their full-fledged scientific program in Antarctica. India is one of them. Initially, 11 countries had signed. Now it is 31, or even more than that, I suppose, 59 countries or something like that. But 31 national Antarctic programs are there, which run their programs annually there. And what is the body? The body which governs this system, that is called COMNAP. That is the Committee of National Antarctic Program Managers, sorry, Committee of Managers of National Antarctic Program. तो यहाँ पर एनसीपीआर के 2 लोग यहाँ के स्थायी सदस्य हैं, इनको लिया जाता है कॉमनैप में. So COMNAP sits there. So they will be the people who are deciding what is the protocol to be followed regarding COVID there. So COMNAP will issue the protocol. जैसा हमारे मेनलैंड में हमारी MOHFW है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ है, तो वो हमें प्रोटोकॉल देती है कि किस तहत आपको कोविड के लिए क्या क्या आपको बर्ताव करनी है. यहाँ पर COMNAP is the body which will give you all these details. So this is, I have said something about COMNAP. This is National Antarctic Programs. Managers of this National Antarctic Programs, they are part of this COMNAP. So apart from that, there is a SCAR, SCAR, Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. This is another body which takes care of the scientific researches which are being conducted by the national programs there. आप वहाँ जो scientific program करने जा रहे हो, उसका सबसे पहले you have to pass it through your SCAR committee. अगर SCAR committee उसमें green signal देती है, तो then you are allowed to go to carry out your scientific project there. So you can see all Antarctica has been, humanity has been able to acknowledge that this is a certain part of this world which remains, which has to be undisturbed. And that is the reason why these different treaty systems have come up. Just you see, in the background you can see, this is our Bharti station. This is taken in winters. I hope you are able to see that. The Bharti station, this has been commissioned in 2012. 2012 में इसकी commission हुई, और ये international tender जो call की गई थी, उसके मुताबिक एक German company had got the tender. उसके मुताबिक जो स्टेशन आप देख रहे हो स्ट्रीट पर खड़ी है, ये करीब if I am not wrong 116 और 216 कंटेनर्स लेकर बनाई गई है. जो कंटेनर आप देखते हो रेल कंटेनर्स, शिप कंटेनर्स 20 फीट की और 40 फीट की जो कंटेनर्स होती है, उसकी सहायता लेकर ये स्टेशन बनाया गया. जर्मन्स ने डुसेल्डॉर्फ सिटी में ये पहले प्लान किया इसको, वहां पर असेंबलिंग की, टोटल चीज को फैब्रिकेशन किया, वहां असेंबलिंग की, फिर उसे डिसमेंबर्ड किया, उसे शिप में कैरी करके एंटार्क्टिका तक पहुंचे, और यहाँ पर उसको बहुत ही कम समय में इसको फिर से असेंबल करके they commissioned it in 2012. This is the most modern station, and you'll be proud to know that this is among the best 5 stations of Antarctica. At present, Bharti station is among the best 5 stations in Antarctica. This I can say, since I'm Indian, you all will be very proud to note this. Climate, I have already said it earlier. Recently, one place in 2020, northern Antarctica, this is in peninsular part, this recorded a temperature of 20.75 degrees Celsius. But there was a reason behind this. This place is because of its proximity to the peninsula, as well as its height, its katabatic, anabatic, katabatic winds, they have some role to play in this. So this has been not taken into account. कृपया भयभीत ना हो कि 20.75 का जो टेम्परेचर शो किया जा रहा है, तो एंटार्क्टिका की सारी बर्फ जो है वो मेल्टिंग हो रही है, बहुत डेंजर है. ग्लोबल वार्मिंग का जो फेनोमेना है, ऑब्वियसली विल सी, आई विल शो यू दैट इट इज देयर, बट इट इज नॉट दैट मच अलार्मिंग एज मच एज साइंटिस्ट्स आर सेइंग. ऑब्वियसली वार्मिंग हुई है, लेकिन देयर इज डिफरेंस. ईस्टर्न एंटार्क्टिका, वेस्टर्न एंटार्क्टिका, देयर इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट इन दैट. So, I mean, going on with the weather. So, फिलहाल अभी अंटार्कटिका में इस वक्त you have got 24 hours of sun, because the sun in the northern hemisphere we are experiencing winter, or now after 21st January, you will see the sun will set in Antarctica and it will further move towards north. This we all know, solstice, equinox, we have all known. So Antarctica is a place where we can see 24 hours midnight sun as it happens in Norway. So Antarctica में भी ऐसी चीजें होती हैं और वहां पर क्या है कि काफी लोगों को जब पहली बार एक्सपेडिशन में वो आते हैं तो उनको काफी मुश्किलें फेस करनी पड़ती हैं कि रात के 12 बज रहे हैं कि दिन के 12 बज रहे हैं, दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज द सन इज क्वाइट देयर. तो फिर वो दूसरों से पूछकर वो पता करते हैं कि नहीं अभी रात के 12 बजे हैं और नींद मुझे नहीं आ रही है. देन वी एडवाइज देम टू बी इन देयर रूम. सारे जो उनकी खिड़कियां हैं उसको बंद करके एक हल्की सी डिम लाइट जलाकर, हल्की सी म्यूजिक चलाकर अपने ब्रेन को कहना पड़ता है कि नहीं अभी रात हुई है, अभी हमको सोना पड़ेगा. सो बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक sometimes goes haywire. So in Antarctica, this has to be very much taken care of. So this was the warming trend that I was talking. And since I'm a meteorologist, I'll briefly give you certain things about the Antarctic warming and global warming trends. So very much you can see that the western part, there is a peninsular part. This is the peninsular part, obviously we'll see. Peninsular part as well as this western part completely is experience a massive warming trend. Rather, the eastern Antarctica is not facing that warming at all. In fact, मैत्री में जो climatology मैंने निकाली थी, मैत्री के पास it was having some 10 years data. So 10 years data, decennial data में मैंने देखा कि there is a decreasing trend of temperature. Average temperature जो है, so it had a decennial decrease of 0.016. Exact figure मुझे याद नहीं है, but it was qualitatively I can say there was a decrease. So don't be much alarmed. जो आपको ट्विटर में या सोशल मीडिया में जो आपको इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है कि ग्लेशियर्स टूट रहे हैं या आइस शेल्फ टूट रही है. नाउ व्हाट इज आइस शेल्फ? आइस शेल्फ एक ऐसी चीज है जो एंटार्क्टिका साइंटिस्ट विल टॉक वेरी मच. आइस शेल्फ इज अ परमानेंट लेयर ऑफ आइस व्हिच इज ओवर द सी. ये कभी मेल्ट नहीं होती है और इसकी थिकनेस 1.2 किलोमीटर एवरेज है एंटार्क्टिका में सी शेल्फ की. तो वेस्टर्न एंटार्क्टिका में कुछ कुछ जगह है जहां पर ये आइस शेल्फ भी टूट रही है. ये आइस शेल्फ टूट रही है, लार्सन आइस शेल्फ. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट दिस. दिस इज वेरी क्लोज टू द हेली 6 ऑब्जर्वेटरी ऑफ यूके, ब्रिटिश एंटार्क्टिक सर्वे. सो इसकी एक quite close to that, Larsen ice shelf over a period of 7 or 8 years or 10 years, it has finally moved away from Antarctica. लेकिन ईस्टर्न एंटार्क्टिका में there is no such trend, no such breaking is occurred. Rather, I should say that more and more ice deposition is happening here. So these are the Western Antarctic ice sheet, and no need to move into this. Another problem is that about the ozone hole. Every year it appears in the spring season. Spring season मतलब जैसे ही winter खत्म हुई और summer आने लगा, तो उस समय एक एंटार्क्टिक ओजोन होल दिखाई पड़ता है जो कि 81 में शायद इसका कॉइन किया गया था. इट इज बिकॉज यू नो वेरी मच कि CFC's accumulation, सिंस हमारी जो सर्कुलेशन सिस्टम है अर्थ की, all the gases, CFC gases that we release are ultimately accumulated over Antarctica. और ये CFC gases जो है ओजोन के साथ रिएक्शन करने के बाद ओजोन होल इज सीन. So these are some data that I have taken from US NCEP websites. This is our Bharti station, and this is the ozone sonde experiment that we are about to perform. ये जो balloon release किया जा रहा है, this will go in the atmosphere. इसके साथ probe लगी हुई होती है. तो ये probe आपको ऊपर जाते जाते constant information आपको देती रहेगी. एक machine उसके साथ attach कर दिया जाता है, एक probe है. So that sucks the ambient air and it reacts inside and it gives you the measure of ozone as it goes up. So you can have a measure of the total columnar ozone. यानी कि ओजोन कंसंट्रेशन आपके स्टेशन के ऊपर कितनी है इसका आपको अंदाजा हो जाता है. तो ये हम जब अपने बेस स्टेशन में भेजते हैं तो वहां पर उस सारी डेटा को, जितने भी ऑब्जर्वेटरीज हैं एंटार्क्टिका में, वहां से सारे डेटा को लेकर ओजोन होल का अंकन किया जाता है. एज वेल एज इट कैन बी फेल फ्रॉम स्पेस ऑल्सो. स्पेस से भी मेजरमेंट ले सकते हैं आप. So this is the terrestrial measurement that we are taking. This is called GPS based ozone sondi probe balloon that is being released. This is a part of, you can see the hydrogen cylinders which have been kept here. This is the IMD stores different types of chemicals and balloons, and all the things have been preserved there. It is out in the open. This is about ozone depletion, some figures and facts. Population. Mostly I'll talk of human population. Human population during summer, it goes up to 5,000. You are all aware of McMurdo base. McMurdo base may, during summers, it goes up to 1,500 also. McMurdo base, that is a US base in Antarctica. So all total 5,000 summer mein, or winter mein, I suppose around 1,000 people live there. And as well as there are certain terrestrial vertebrates and as well as some different life forms also. Now, penguins and seals, they can't come up to you during winters because the sea is frozen. भारती के नजदीक जो सी है वो भी करीब 100 किलोमीटर एरिया में फ्रीज हो जाती है, तो वहां पर भी आपको कोई फॉर्म्स देखने को नहीं मिलेंगी. तो जब वो मेल्ट होती है तब हमें सबसे पहले सील दिखाई पड़ती है. साउथ वेडल सील्स आर द फर्स्ट एनिमल्स विच अपीयर, क्योंकि वहां पर जो थिक आइस है, सी आइस, फास्ट आइस. सो फास्ट आइस में थोड़ी सी अगर दरारें आई तो सील सबसे पहले निकलकर बास्किंग करती है सन में. उसका भी मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा. Marine habitations, some 12 kind of penguins are there. I have seen two varieties of penguins. One is the emperor penguin, that is the biggest of the lot. At most it can go up to touching 3 feet. 3 फुट तक जा सकती है. और इसके अलावा there is another variety that I have seen, that is Adelie penguin. These two penguins are seen near to our stations. इसके अलावा I'll show you the figure of, I'll show you the picture of that rookery, penguin rookery breeding ground, जहाँ पर वो breeding करती है, वहाँ पर भी I had the distinction to go there and I could film some shots there. So I'll show them. So apart from that, chinstrap, king penguin, gentoo penguin, lot of penguins are there. But near to our station, I have seen only two penguins. Those are emperor penguins and Adelie penguins. Weddell seals are seen. Leopard seals I have not seen there. Whales, on one occasion I had seen very close to, not whales, it was orca. These orcas, these 4 or 6 orcas came while scientists were doing their bathymetry study close to Bharti station. So it was a very alarming situation. 6 orca आपके पीछे आ रही हैं और आप एक छोटी सी बोट लेकर बैथीमेट्री स्टडी कर रहे हो. इमीडिएटली दो साइंटिस्ट, वो लोग इनलैंड आ गए. उन लोगों ने कहा कि नहीं, ऑर्का के सामने हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, इसलिए अभी एक्सपेरिमेंट रहने दो, बाद में करेंगे. So this photograph has been taken from my mobile, I suppose. This is in the Swener Island, very close to Bharti station. This is the rookery of Adelie penguins. The penguins that you can see, these are Adelie penguins. ये बहुत छोटी होती हैं, and these penguins are not original residents of Antarctica. They are migratory in origin. ये लोग विंटर में एंटार्क्टिका में नहीं रहती हैं. ये लोग वार्मर लैटिट्यूड्स की तरफ मूव कर जाती हैं जैसे जैसे विंटर आती है. तो लेकिन द एम्परर पेंगुइन जो है वो एंटार्क्टिका की ओरिजिनल रेसिडेंट्स है, नेटिव आई शुड से. दे आर द नेटिव्स ऑफ एंटार्क्टिका. दिस पेंगुइन इज नॉट अ नेटिव. सो एक चीज आप देखो, यहाँ पर इनकी रूकरी जो है इसमें आपको आइस देखने को नहीं मिल रही है, एंड मोस्टली इन समर इट इज हैपनिंग. इनकी जो ब्रूड है इट कम्स अप इन समर ओनली. तो उसके मुताबिक यहाँ पर जो आइस कवर है इट इज नॉट देयर. इट्स अ barren island that we went through by helicopters, and one scientist was there from Ministry of Earth Science. He was to do some cognitive study on penguins. So I went with him and I had the luck to get this shot. So around 30,000 penguins were there in total in that island. So I have got a video also. Just a minute. I'm not able to see the. This was a video actually, but I'm not able to play this. So this is just a continuation of that shot. I thought that I could play this video also. I'd incorporated this video to show you all, but I'm not able to operate this video. So what is the reason behind this? No, I mean, it is moving to the next shot. Okay, so this is another continuation of that Venner Island shot that I had taken. This was a video, but somehow this video I'm not able to play. So I'll move on to the next slide. So this is the emperor penguin that I'm talking of. This is the biggest of the penguins. These are quite majestic. These are the natives of Antarctica. They do not migrate to any place even during winters. This shot is taken from the Amanda Bay. That was taken from the Venner Island. This has been taken from the Amanda Bay. Now this is a very, very protective region, and without permission you are not able to go there. But somehow we managed the permission. Australians have fitted their cameras over these hills. You can see these hillocks over here. They have fitted their cameras. So anybody approaching this place, because these are the breeding grounds of this emperor penguins, and emperor penguin is a endangered species. So obviously, if somebody goes there without prior permission, it is subject to some international dereliction of laws and all that. But we got the information since I had very good relation with the Australian leader. So I took their permission and I went there along with my team, and they were very happy to see some around say 25 to 30,000 penguins we saw there along with their chicks. Because it's in summers, it was not in summer. We went there in September. In September we went and we saw they were there with their chicks also. So now you can see if you go into this slide, you can see here some people can be seen. So these are Chinese team members who had been there along with us. They had taken their drones also to fly over there, but I think drone is not a thing that has to be operated there. Very good photography could be made, but I think it is not allowed. But Chinese are very much known to violate all these rules. In Antarctica also, I've seen so many times that they do violate a lot, as well as Russians also. Russians also, they are not very much, they do not abide by the rules which have been prescribed there. So this is another shot of the Amanda Bay. This has been taken in my mobile, through my mobile. These are all king emperor penguins. Now this is the South Weddell seal that I was talking, that just when the winter ends and this holes start to appear. This is on sea ice. Now near to Bharti station, what happens? The sea ice becomes so thick in till July that you are able to take your vehicles also over that sea ice. At places, it will be about thickness will be about say 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters. Over sea, it is there. But after July, this Russian station Progress, which is there, their scientists, geophysicists, they keep geophysicists with them. So these geophysicists take the sea ice thickness regularly, and they advise us according to that it is the proper time to take your vehicles out on the sea over this sea ice. So once on occasion, after lunch, I had been with my team, and it was very close to our station. They were basking in the sun. These are Weddell seals, South Weddell seals. I think this is its pup, which has grown a little bigger. This is another very good shot that I had taken. It's very close. I had been to that seal, and it was basking very nicely. It was snoring also. while we went very close to it, suddenly it made some noise and looked about us. It's quite heavy a thing. I mean, beyond our imagination, it's quite big. I mean, if your naked eyes you see, it is quite a big animal. But mostly docile. It doesn't, I mean, bites you or does anything. But if you disturb it very much, then obviously it has a chance to do this. So this one thing you see, this is basking in the sea ice. Actually, this whole place is sea, but ice has deposited over sea, and this seal is simply basking over the sea ice. It's quite a wonder. I mean, sometimes when you will be first putting your footsteps over this sea ice, you will be trembling first of all. That will this ice be able to take my weight? But after a few steps, you'll be able to know that this is quite sturdy, and it has the capacity to take your weight. So we alighted from, we took our vehicles also. And piston pulley vehicle, you know, it's quite heavy. It weighs around, say, with cabin, it weighs around 8 tons. But since it has got tracks, so PSI per square inches pressure is quite less. So we could take our vehicles. From our vehicles, we alighted, we went close to them and took this shot. This is another facts and figures that is given there. This is about the conservation of different biodiversities in Antarctica. You cannot disturb. I mean, penguin देखने से क्या होता है, जितने भी बड़े साइंटिस्ट हों, वो पेंगुइन देखने से पागल हो जाते हैं, वो पेंगुइन के पीछे भागने लगते हैं. और पेंगुइन एक ऐसी प्राणी है जो कि आपके बहुत नजदीक आएगी, वो आपको बहुत बारीकी से देखेगी आपको. शायद वो सोचती होगी कि हमारे जो दो हाथ हैं उनकी पंख की तरह है, तो आपके बहुत क्लोज आएंगे, लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. जैसे लोग पेंगुइन देखते हैं ना, तो उसके पीछे भागने लगते हैं. मैंने कितने बड़े साइंटिस्ट को भी समझाया है कि सर आपको पेंगुइन के पीछे भागने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप चुपचाप बैठो, वो पेंगुइन आपके पीछे आएंगी, लेकिन कोई वैसा करता नहीं है. तो दैट्स व्हाई दिस कंजर्वेशन लॉस अबाउट व्हाटएवर एलियन प्लांट्स आर देयर, एलियन एनिमल्स है. एंटार्क्टिका में आप हस्कीज नहीं ले जा सकते, जैसे आर्कटिक में है हस्कीज आर ए मस्ट. जैसे एमंडसन भी जब आए थे तो हस्कीज से आए थे. नाउ हस्कीज हैव बीन बैंड बिकॉज़ these are not the natives of Antarctica. एंटार्क्टिका में आपको एक बहुत गलतफहमी है कि वहां पर ये मिलते हैं. What is that called? Polar bear. Polar bears are not seen in Antarctica. That's why penguins are there. Different kinds of birds are there. So if polar bears come, then obviously penguins will not be there. So this is the treaty which binds the conservation of different biodiversities which have been growing in Antarctica. Now this is the politics. I mean, since Antarctica Treaty has prohibited, so this is a shot which has been taken during our 15th August celebration. So you can see this, my Chinese counterpart, this Chinese leader is here. This is a Russian leader, along with my two members. We have just unfurled the national tricolor there, and the national anthem is going on, and we are standing on the podium. So this photograph I chose since I had to speak about the politics of this place. So the Madrid Protocol bans all mining in Antarctica. Several countries claim sovereignty. This is not done. No country can claim sovereignty. अभी तक एक दूसरे की sovereignty वो चला रहे हैं, लेकिन overall sovereignty has not been granted by any country. This is the research what they do. I mean, physicists, oceanographers, geologists, biologists. That's what I'm saying, that if amongst us anybody is there, so please think about this. This is a very good observatory. Antarctica is such a good observatory. Whatever experiments you are doing, think of doing that experiment in Antarctica. So do put your papers. I mean, what is that? Defend your paper in front of this committee and do come to this part. Several researches are going on based on this kind of activities. Ice coring is also an important phenomena that goes on. Now, Indian expeditions, this has been started from 1981 under leadership of S.Z. Kasim. This you will know from history. Now, at present, NCPOR is the organization that is conducting its day-to-day, not day-to-day, annual expeditions. science in Antarctica. I mean, Indian science in Antarctica, what it does. I mean, there are atmospheric sciences, biological sciences, earth science, glaciology, environmental sciences, as well as medical and human psychology. So based on that, different aspects are there on which you can base your researches and put your papers, defend that papers, and come to Antarctica to perform that experiment. Now, this is Dakshin Gangotri station. You all know, many of us are not aware of this Dakshin Gangotri station. This was the first station that was built. It was commissioned in 1984. 26 जनवरी सबसे पहले मनाया गया था 84 में यहाँ पर. तो लेकिन बहुत दुख की बात है, ये स्टेशन at present is not there. Since it was built on ice shelf as I talk, it is a layer of ice that is permanent over sea ice, that is sea, over sea water. But human activity के कारण धीरे धीरे ये स्टेशन दबता गया. ये अल्टीमेटली अभी इसकी हालत ऐसी है, ये पूरी तरह से समा चुका है, बर्फ के नीचे जा चुका है और कोई भी चीज यहाँ से रिट्रीवल हो नहीं सकती. इसे अभी आर्काइवल स्टेटस दे दिया गया है. इसके बाद यह है दक्षिण गंगोत्री का एक पिक्चर जो कि मैंने they're all available in social media out there. So from there I have picked up, because this station doesn't exist at present. This is under ice. The ice that you are seeing, this has wholly engulfed it. So based on that mistake, next is Indian station Maitri came up. Latitude and longitude I have mentioned. 70°45 and 1144 is the longitude. It is around inland station, about 100 kilometers. It is approximately 130 kilometers. If you go by route, it is 130 kilometers from the coast, elevation of about 50 meters above sea level. It can support 25% during winters, and summer it can take up to 40 to 50 people. Containerized living module is there. This station was constructed by our army people. It has got different facilities. Incinerator is there, cold running water, hot and cold running water both are present. PA system, living, dining, lounge, and containerized laboratories are there. But I must say, this station, since it was commissioned in '89, it has become quite old now. Now NCPR is thinking of bringing Maitri 2. So let us hope that Maitri 2 comes up with its modern amenities. This is the picture of Maitri station. Aerial view of Maitri station. If you take it from some helicopters or some drone, if you take this will be the picture that is seen. If you may see, this is the main station building. यहाँ आपको जो सामने लेक दिखाई दे रही है, this is called Lake Priyadarshi. This was named after our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. From there, water is drawn, because since it's an inland station, so all inland stations, they can take their water for intake in the station from the adjoining lakes. But those stations which are in the coastal region, like Bharti station, they have to take the saline sea water, make it saline, salt free, then run RO, then add some minerals and use it for potable as well as drinking, bathing and clothing and all this purpose. But this station uses this lake, inland lake water. So this is the pipeline that you can see. This is drawing this water inside the station. This is a small dome you can see. This is the Earth station. This is the way people connect with the rest of world. But at present, net facilities are not working there. These are the containerized modules for summer people. Summer में जो लोग आते हैं उनके लिए रहने की जगह है ये. This is the workshop जहाँ पर करीब 13-14 पिस्टन बुली व्हीकल्स हैं, उसकी देखरेख की जाती है, या उसके साथ ट्रेलर्स हैं, उसके साथ जेसीबीज, उसके साथ क्रेन्स हैं, इसकी सारी देखरेख वेरी वेल वर्कशॉप दे मेंटेन. इसके बहुत नजदीक एक वाइट डेजर्ट बोल के एक कमर्शियल एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है जो कि एक यूके की ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाती है, दैट इज फॉर टूरिस्ट पर्पस. So I came to know that they charge around 65 lakhs, mind it, 65 lakhs for 15 days of stay in Antarctica. This white desert station I'm not showing, since India doesn't prescribe to tourism in Antarctica. based on the Antarctic and the spirit of Antarctic treaty system. So लेकिन मैंने इसलिए इसका जिक्र किया व्हाइट डेजर्ट का क्योंकि उनके कुछ व्हीकल्स हैं जिसकी मरम्मत वो हमारे इस वर्कशॉप में करने आ जाते हैं. Next I'll move. This is a very important thing that I was saying कि आपकी जो supplies हैं जो कि ship से आती हैं. Here you can see the ship जो कि docking हुई है near some 130 kilometers away from Maitri. This is the ship that is docked. You can see the Russian में लिखी हुई है नाम यहाँ पर Ivan Papanin. और ये हमारी piston pulley vehicle है. ये है oil tankers. तो ये जो ship आपके लिए oil and supplies and food and minerals जो कैरी करके जो supplies जो आपके लिए कैरी करके लाई है, ये आपको ये सारे vehicles कंटेनर्स में या ऑयल टैंकर्स में पहले लाद लेंगे, उसके बाद उसे मूव करके स्टेशन की तरफ चलेंगे. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ मैत्री लाइफ दैट हैपेंस इन मैत्री ओनली. इट डजंट हैपन इन भारती बिकॉज भारती इज जस्ट बाय द सी. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द सप्लाईज कम बाय हेलीकॉप्टर्स एंड a ship itself delivers it most of the things. ऑयल जो है वो पाइपलाइन के सहारे आ जाती है भारती में, लेकिन यहाँ पर ऐसी नहीं है. आपको ऑयल टैंकर लेकर वहां पहुंचना पड़ेगा 130 किलोमीटर जहां जहाज भिड़ी है, और वहां आपको ये तेल लेकर फिर ये तेल 130 किलोमीटर दूर आपको मूव करके आना भी पड़ेगा. This is a very nice shot which has been taken during night or early morning. Now this is the picture that I am showing, that all these vehicles after refilling themselves, they are on their way to Maitri. They have taken their supplies, now they are on their way to Maitri. Again the same shot. I wanted to show you one video was there, but that video is not operating, so I'll move to the next. Now I come to the Indian station Bharti. So 2012 May, a modern station based on most of the figures I have given you. So this is the aerial shot of drone shot of Maitri station. This is the station itself. These are the earth stations that are managed by ISRO. These are the domes which connect us to the rest of world. This is one pipeline that you can see that is running. I'm pointing it. This is the water intake, the saline water that has to be taken in. This water is taken in. Now this pipeline which is running, it is discharge line also, as well as you can see there are fuel stations here. The next shot I will see it will be more zoomed, so you can see it very nicely. So oil depot is here. Seawater intake and seawater discharge both are there. Now this is the shot that I was speaking, that the ship almost comes to Bharti station. Within say how much 50 meters of Bharti station it can reach. So convoys do not operate here. This ship is armed with 2 helicopters. One is Squirrel class, another is Camov class. Camov class can carry around 6 tons of things with it. So all these heavy things can be transported to the station by Camov class helicopters. And scientific people, if they have to fly to some places, they use that Squirrel kind of helicopter. Now this is another very zoom shot that I was earlier showing you. This is the oil depot that you can see. This is the place where the oil is stored for entire year. Some members are walking here. Some members are doing some operations here. This is the piston pulley vehicle that I was talking. इसमें ट्रैक लगी हुई है. ये fuel line है, as well as water discharge line, दोनों एक साथ है इसके साथ. This is the water intake. ये water intake का line है. Now I'll come to some stunning photographies. This is the star trail photography, as well as aurora can be seen. Now this man-made structure, I have deliberately put this in my picture, in my selection of pictures, because this is the Catenary Bridge. It is around 30 meters, joining a valley, just over the valley, joining 2 hillocks. Now people from the station have to use this Catenary Bridge on the way to the atmospheric lab on the adjoining hillock. Now what happened initially in the absence of this bridge, now they had to get down to the valley which is beneath them and in that valley they were waist deep in snow during winters. So it was a very tough thing. So in my 39th expedition, I proposed this construction, and within a very short time, this construction was made. So this is nature as well as man-made structure. They are both interacting with each other in this start trail, as well as you can say this is aurora, and as well as the man-made structure has also been highlighted. This is another shot of very good some shooting star. If you see it very closely, some shooting star or some satellite trail, if I'm not sure, as well as our galaxy can be seen, Milky Way galaxy. Aurora is here, as well as this quaternary bridge from the other angle. Now, this is the vehicle that I was talking about. This is a piston bully vehicle.
Debdip, so time check, almost 6:30.
Okay.
Session is still 7. We've got half an hour. We should leave at least 20 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, so I'll fast move through. This is a piston bully vehicle. You are all acquainted now. So it's a close shot of piston bully. The voyage part, I have already explained it to you. This is the literature that is there. So this is the ship. I mean, what is that called? Behind of the ship. I'm not getting the term. Exactly, that term is there. So this is leaving Cape Town. The ship is leaving Cape Town port. So this shot has been taken. It is on its way to Antarctica. Now, as it approaches Antarctica, you can see that thick sea ice. It has to negotiate thick sea ice. So the ship that we choose, it's not an icebreaker ship. It's an ice class ship, around 200 meters in length. So what it does, it rams on this thick ice. It breaks because of inertia, and its weight, it impounds upon this ice, and then it ultimately reaches, it makes its way to Bharti station. And in this respect, Space Application Center is very much becomes handy. They actually, through their satellite photography, they can find the loopholes in this thick ice, and then they, with the help of that, we can navigate our ship through those weaker points. So now you can see it has come very close to Bharti station. It's about to dock now. The ship is trying to dock at a particular position. This is the front of the ship. Now, ultimately, it has docked at near Bharti. Moorings, you can see the moorings have been put to secure the ship so that it does not flounder. Because under this ice that you see, it is actually a sea. That's why the ship has come after negotiating so much of thick ice. So it has been moved. Now we people are able to walk over this. You can see, I mean, footsteps are there. We can move from our station over this ice, and we can reach this ship. Is the gangway, and we can go up. So we can either use helicopters, or those of us who are, I mean, they do not fear. They can move through this sea ice, though it is very not very thick now at this position, as well as this ship's impounding action has made it weak also. But most of us move over this sea ice.
Debdip, Anindo here.
Can
you go back to the previous picture?
Okay. This one?
Yeah, see, I'm seeing, you know, this light blue round things, you know. In
that is
so what are they?
That is because of the slide. Actually, I should have taken it off.
Okay.
Don't I mean, mix it up with any planetary bodies or something like that.
Okay. All right.
Simply in the slide.
Okay.
So now the ship is moved, and you can see a small helicopter. This is a squirrel helicopter that is operating now. It is taking some people from the ship, taking them to another island. So operations have started. Step by step, I have shown. So this is the travel and transit. This also I have spoken much about in the initial. Now this is the world map, and so from Goa, we first of all have to reach to Cape Town. From Cape Town, This is the ship route I'm showing. The ship, the voyage team actually follows this route. First of all, it comes to Goa to Cape Town. Now from Cape Town, it goes to Bharti station first. From there, it goes to Maitri station. And then again, it retraces back to Cape Town and ends its voyage. But for those who are flying, first of all, from Goa, they will be reaching Cape Town through Gulf or Addis Ababa or Kenya or whatever, Dubai. And from Cape Town, they'll be flying to here, near to Maitri. And from Maitri, they'll be flying to Bharti. So this is the route taken by the people who stay in winters. Specially protected areas are there. We have to take care of those people, those scientists who are moving to ASPA region, ASPA. They have to follow certain norms. These are the norms which have been mentioned. ASPA and ASMA, managed area and protected area. Protected area are very stringent. You have to follow the rules very strictly. So these are the guidelines which have been prescribed there. This is the next one, Antarctica specially managed area, ASPA and ASMA. So now come to some, what is this called? Some phenomena that you see in sky, heavenly phenomena. This is sun halo that we have taken from Bharti station rooftop. This is solar halo, light 20 degrees sun dog can be seen. इस फोटोग्राफ में आपको सन डॉग बहुत अच्छी दिखाई दे रही होंगी. जो मेन सन है इसके अलावा भी 22 डिग्री पर आप अगर सन को 90 डिग्री पर अगर ले तो आपको 22-44 डिग्री पर दो सन डॉग मिलेंगे. तो उसे सन डॉग कहा जाता है. ये इंडिकेट करती है कि आपकी अपर एटमॉस्फेयर में आइस पार्टिकल्स है जो कि प्रिज्म का काम कर रही है. ये है आइस फॉग, अप्रोचिंग आइस फॉग. This has been taken from the roof of Bharti station. Ice fog is approaching the station. So you can see here, ice fog has mostly covered all these places. So slowly and slowly it is appearing to our station. This is sun pillar. If you can see it, this pillar is going up. This is sun pillar. This is another indication that your atmosphere is having some ice particles. So very soon, some storm is going to come to your station. This shot has been taken during a blizzard. So blizzard is a phenomena that happens very much in polar region. You won't be able to. So here the visibility is quite up to say around 500-600 meters visibility is there. So there will be certain phenomena in which visibility drops down to 0 to 50 meters. Yeah, exactly. I mean, based on that, I mean, different blizzard. If it is a very strong blizzard, so last time when I was there, I could record a sustainable wind speed of 65 knots. 65 knots wind, sustainable wind speed, and gusting to about say 90 knots. Gusting to 90 knots it came to. So based on that, one of our containers toppled actually, and a lot of operations had to be covered to retrieve it back. This is sunrise picture taken from whole horizon has been turned. This happens during when the sun actually doesn't come up over the horizon. This is a phenomena that I have seen actually in Antarctica. This is called diamond dust. It will be blue sky. Suddenly you will see that some diamond, very fine diamond, like shining things are dropping out from the heaven. Now this is a very good shot taken by one of our members. This aurora observation. This is near to Maitri station. This aurora observation has been taken. This is embedded iceberg. Sea ice. This whole place is actually sea ice, and this iceberg has got embedded into this frozen sea ice. So finally, I have come to the acknowledgement part. So Debdip Praktani must be, as well as the organizers of this Adda session, Director NCPR, since it is under their aegis that I had to go to the expedition, PMRD DGM, that is my department people, expedition members of 35th IC voyage, 36th Maitri and 39th Bharti, NCPR website for expedition related information, technical publications, 3rd ICA, COMNAP website, Wikipedia, US, USAP, that is United States Antarctic Program, as well as NCEP, that I have not mentioned, but it is there, all web viewers. So I'm finishing now. So Ernest Shackleton once again comes to my mind, this quote, that if I had a dream when I was 22 that someday I'd go to the region of ice and snow and go on till I came to one of the poles of the earth. So this was one of the sayings that Ernest Shackleton had mentioned. So finally, I end. Thanks to all. So now I think I'll be open to questions.
Thank you, Debdip. Absolutely wonderful, splendid, and I think time well spent. There were so many things that we hear, but a first-hand experience of going through the photographs and hearing from the horse's mouth, as they say, right? I mean, this was absolutely wonderful. So if you can stop screen sharing, and I'm going to take the questions one by one, and you can put yourself on a speaker mode. If you go to the right-hand side, you'll see a small icon called view, and you can just do speaker mode, and then that way we'll be able to see you. So let me move over to the Q&As. So let me see. What kind of Q&As do we have? Where's the first one? Just give me a second as I scroll down to the first one, and then I'll be able to take the following ones quickly. Okay, so the first question is from Bikash. Sorry if I'm not able to. Bikash Singh. Okay, so a senior to me, definitely. So because the first question, what is the application of the research and study we do there?
As I said, Antarctica is a very good laboratory, first of all. Now, suppose you are doing this experiment in India or some European country. So there you are putting some extra conditions. Now, in Antarctica, it's a pollution-free region. So one chance is there that those things which in the rest of the world, those pollutions and all these things might be hampering your observations, and that is not there, first of all. As well as the temperature factor is also there. The one thing that you are doing in a laboratory under some restrained conditions, you don't need that. It's open to it. So what I said is that not for everybody. You can repeat that experiment if you feel that whether it is a universal phenomena. Obviously, I mean, observations anywhere, it will be universal only. But you can choose to do it in a very, what should I say, very बहुत ही सीरीन एटमॉस्फेयर में अगर आप करना चाहेंगे तो उसके लिए मैंने सुझाव दिया कि आप कर सकते हैं ऐसा. That was the only reason. And certain things are there which have to be done in Antarctica only. So those people mostly come. But rest of the people, if they feel that my experiment, if I want to do it in Antarctica also, let me do. Suppose humanities experiment. So यहाँ पर आप आकर, since you are coming across that, what is that called? जो नॉर्थ पोल और साउथ पोल में जो मैग्नेटिक लाइंस ऑफ फोर्स जहाँ मीट करती है, तो वहां से आपको नॉर्थ पोल और साउथ पोल दोनों में ही आपको ये दिखाई देता है ना, दैट इज कॉल्ड योर ऑरोरा, बिकॉज सोलर एनर्जेटिक पार्टिकल्स जो हैं दे इंटर थ्रू दैट होल, मैग्नेटिक होल. तो ये आपको एंटार्क्टिका में सिर्फ मिलेगी, आर्कटिक में मिलेगी. सो काफी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो आप सिर्फ पोल्स पर आकर ही कर सकते हो. और इसके अलावा जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स आप नॉर्मल सिचुएशन पे कर लेते हो, वो भी एंटार्क्टिका में आकर कर सकते हो. ये मेरा सुझाव था सबसे.
Thank you so much for the answer. Next question comes from sorry. Next question comes from KD of 2001 class 10 batch, and the question is, are there habitat/shelter research within Indian mission there?
Obviously, that was, I could not cover actually. Time didn't allow me. I mean, both these stations are fully fledged with very good observatories. That's why I said, I mean, science and research facilities, not, I mean, very much unlimited. That obviously has to be there. But you will find, at least if you give this prescription before that I need this kind of things, that kind of things, after your project is defended, you defend your project first, and then you prescribe that I need this kind of things and that kind of things. Obviously, this can be taken to Antarctica also. Bharti and Maitri both have got very good, well-equipped laboratories. So be free about that.
Thank you so much. Next question from Kumar Sharat Chandra. You said Antarctica as a sink of thermodynamics. How does that work? It has to do with carbon sink. How does it work?
No. I mean, it's a hypothetical theory I was talking that since your thermodynamical engine, as we all know, it functions between a source and sink, and in between the work is done. You draw some amount of energy from the source, you draw some amount of energy from the, like you talk of refrigerator, as well as some heat engine, like Carnot heat engine that I'm talking. Those are thermodynamic engines. I mean, diesel engines that is inside automobiles and all this. These are thermodynamic engines. So in terms of that, I'm saying that if you consider our Earth as a thermodynamic engine, so obviously there has to be some source, there has to be some sink, and based on these temperature differences, the airflow circulations will all move on, weather systems will develop. So if you tinker with Antarctica, so this sink concept will go off, and now source and source everywhere will be source. Temperature if goes up, now this temperature difference will come down. Air circulation will be very much hampered. Now maybe our monsoon systems will be getting hampered because of this if you play with Antarctica. So I'm talking of a hypothetical engine. It is not a something engine that we are seeing in our naked eyes.
Thank you very much. Next question from Rishi, 97 batch. Why is it that Cape Town is chosen as the last and the first transit point for and from Antarctica?
Okay, very good question, because as I have shown that we could have chosen Hobart also. We could have chosen Buenos Aires also. So why out of blue you have chosen Cape Town to be it? Is it because we have some very good friendship with the South African government? No, it is not like that. Actually, historically, we form a conglomerate with the South African as well as Norway, UK, Russians, Germans, Belarusians, Ukrainians, then you have Belgian. So there is a conglomerate of 11 countries. They actually have they run an organization. So all these 11 countries, they make their entry point at Cape Town. So it has happened that Australian leader has come to our station, has requested that why don't you come from Hobart? Shift it to Hobart. Instead of Cape Town, come to Hobart. But since we form a conglomerate, so we have to abide by certain rules of that conglomerate. So that is the reason. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule. If after say 5 or 6 years it happens to be Hobart, it's not something to be bewildered about. So it can obviously, but at present, since we are bound by certain rules of this conglomerate, we follow Cape Town as the entry and exit point.
Thank you so much. And if I may just add a line or two to this, actually, if you go to Antarctica as a tourist with one of those expedition voyages like Hurtigruten or Enterprise, and if you do a sea voyage, you would typically sail out of Ushuaia. Ushuaia is the last point of land in Argentina, which is a 4-hour flight from Buenos Aires. And then from Ushuaia, you sail crossing the notorious Drake's Passage. And then you land on the Shetlands. So there are different entry points, but I guess what Debdip said is mainly for the expedition team. All right, thank you very much. So the next question is, I guess you've answered this, but the question is, what kind of research is done there?
Now, I have already shown that different research is based on, say, geology, meteorology, then space science, then you have paleoclimate, and I mean, I have to get back to the slide. I mean, in the summer, what happens? Varied scientists come from different institutions. They are from different universities. Like one person from Calcutta University went there. He was a part of environmental studies there. So he was doing a research on the microplastics. That since there is an anthropogenic activities covering up in the station itself, because human-related activities, anthropogenic activities are going on for long. So obviously, traces of microplastics or microplastics in good number can be found out. And obviously, I mean, without plastics, life now is we cannot think of life. So he came out and Then he started gathering all the waistline, whatever discharge is being thrown into the sea. He started gathering those things, and he started finding out the presence of microplastics. He went to the nearby lakes also. So there also he found out plastics there. So this is one of the aspects. So geologists are also doing it. Some geologists have very interesting study they are doing. That is the Krishna Godavari basin in the, what is that called? When the Gondwana land was there or Pangaea was there, the whole earth was unified. This Bharti part, the Bharti station, wherever it has been constructed, this was originally the part of the Krishna Godavari basin. Now, if you can relate the two rock samples from these two places, I mean, you can date, I mean, carbon date and not carbon date. There must be some other formulas by which they find out the date of these rocks. So based on that, they have come to this conclusion that the Bharti part is actually went off from the Krishna Godavari basin. They have established this view very much. So these are the different studies. I mean, so the basic thing is that after the advertisement comes up for the annual expedition, they give it in full-fledged. The website that has to be consulted is ncpor.res.in. That is a Government of India under MOES. NCPR is a department. NCPR is a unit that conducts this experiment, conducts this expedition. So after their advertisement comes, shoot your application on whatever branch you want to do your research in Antarctica, and see whether they are able to accept it or not. If they accept, they will ask you to come over to Goa and to defend your paper. So they'll ask certain questions that what is the reason? Why do you want to go to Antarctica? Can it not be taken in mainland? Why is it that only Antarctica has been chosen? So do it. So varied branches of zoology, biology, then human psychology, doctors go there. Then you have, what should I say?
So, so Debdip, your answer automatically leads to the next question from Rishi once again. And his question is in two parts. The first part is, what ministry in India looks after all the affairs related to this unique place? And the second part of the question is exactly what you answered now. Is there some specific government college or department, I would just add, which enables a placement there?
I mean, Antarctica is an expedition. So if you want to be a part of NCPR, so that is the body under Ministry of Earth Science. The first question actually answers this. It's the Ministry of Earth Science, MOES. That actually under its aegis, NCPR is a unit, NCPR is a department, it's an autonomous body. So if you directly want to associate yourself with this expedition and all, suppose you are a mechanical engineer. So obviously, shoot your applications there, put your applications. They need mechanical engineers, they need electrical engineers. So what for? You will be asking that what for mechanical engineers will go there. Now Bharti station, as you, I have not taken you inside of the Bharti station, it's a totally automated station. Nothing happens there manually. It has been made by Germans. It is a totally automated station. Now, for every year, 4 engineers go there. The first one is mechanical, second one is electrical, third one is chemical, and the fourth one is BMS, building management science. So these 4 engineers are hired by NCPR to be there on annual expedition for the maintenance of life support system there. So I think that answers that. If you want to directly associate yourself with Antarctic expedition, be a employee of NCPOR, National Council of Polar and Ocean Research. Now that answers you partly. Now the next question will be that how come you have been there? You are from IMD. Now what I do is I am from IMD, but I go there on deputation. Now, if you come to IMD and you want to go to deputation, you are most welcome. If you come to GSI, you want to go there as deputation, most welcome. Different government departments are there; they send their volunteers there on deputation. Now, NCPR is the body which will be being a part of NCPR. You can directly associate yourself with this expedition. Otherwise, you'll have to be a part on deputation.
Thank you so much. Next question from Amalendra Basu, and this is a very relevant question.
Okay.
I'm glad he asked it. What are the changes in the biological system of the human body and how the same has been counteracted during long stay in Antarctica? So
Okay, very, very.
Priyaranjan,
Amalanda, I can see you. Amalanda is very much on the screen. So very good question, Amalanda. So certain because I have spent there 2 winters. So what I have seen that body weight starts to increase because it's very limited space that you walk around. We have put gymnasiums there. It is a full-fledged gymnasiums having what is that called, on which people walk, and you have weight lifting and all these apparatus with different kind of apparatus are there. So we want to keep people busy, but what happens, during winters when the sunlight is not there, because you have a period of around two months when the sunlight won't be there at all. It will be total dark. So under those situations, we don't allow people to go outside very much. We confine people inside the station. And what happens? Sometimes I have seen people overeating there. जब मैं पहली बार वहां जा रहा था तो मुझे ऐसा बताया गया कि वहां पर लोग दाल में घी नहीं, घी में दाल पीते हैं. Because food is quite abundant there. बहुत आपको फूड दिया जाता है वहां पर. इनफैक्ट अगर सबकी कैलोरी इनटेक की जाए कि 365 days a person has to take this much of calorie, तो उससे भी काफी फूड सप्लाईज आपको की जाती है. और उसके लिए सारे फूड को हम डिस्प्ले भी करके रखते हैं, बिकॉज हमें मालूम नहीं है कौन किसको क्या फूड चाहिए. जो साउथ इंडियन है, ही इज फेवरिंग सम स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ फूड. कोई मुरुक्कू खाना चाहता है वहां पर, तो कोई बिस्किट खाना चाहता है वहां पर. सब चीजें वहां पर प्रोवाइड की गई है. लेकिन इसका एक खराब चीज क्या है, पीपल टेंड टू ओवर ईट. और काफी बार उनकी जो ब्लड प्रेशर है वो बढ़ जाती है, उनकी ओबेसिटी आ जाती है उनमें. ऐसा भी हुआ है कि एक व्यक्ति, मुझे सुनने में सुनाई दिया ऐसा, 33rd एक्सपीडिशन में ऐसा भी सुनाई दिया कि कोई अंटार्कटिका जिस ड्रेस में आया था उस ड्रेस में वो वापस नहीं जा पाया. उसके लिए अलग से सिलनी पड़ी ड्रेस, अलग से उसके लिए ड्रेस बनाई गई. बेडशीट को फाड़ के उसके लिए ड्रेस बनाया गया. तो ऐसी भी घटनाएं हुई है. एज वेल एज देयर आई हैव सीन वन केस इन विच अ पर्सन सफर्ड एक्चुअली. उसके घर परिवार में कुछ एक ऐसा हादसा हुआ, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पर्सन, उसकी जो ब्लड प्रेशर है सडनली इट वेंट अप. ही वाज अ वेरी यंग पर्सन. आई मीन आई हैव टू सॉरी टू मेंशन ही वाज, बिकॉज ही डजंट, ही इज नो मोर. He died actually. He was a boy of 26 years, came from Amethi, and due to some family problems, उसके अचानक बीच में ही blood pressure shot up. So the station doctor I called immediately. मैंने कहा कि मैडम इसकी blood pressure को आप घटाइए. इसकी blood pressure ऐसी थी 210/130 उसकी blood pressure हो गई थी. घर से फोन आती थी उसकी, and it shot up like anything. So I said, madam, he is going to collapse. So do something, otherwise this person is going to die. So ultimately what happened is उसकी किडनी खराब हो गई अंटार्कटिका में. तो डिप्रेशन इज अनदर फैक्टर व्हिच हैपेंस वेरी मच. लोगों को बताया जाता है कि डिप्रेशन में मत आइए, बाहर आइए, लोगों से बात कीजिए. बहुत वहां पर कंफर्ट है, तो उस कंफर्ट में आपको नेट मिल रही है, आप घर के लोगों के साथ बात कर रहे हैं. जो स्टेशन में लोग हैं उनके साथ आपको बात करने से मतलब है नहीं. आप अपने आप खाना खा रहे हैं और अपने रूम में जाकर बैठ रहे हैं, ऐसा मत करें. सबसे बातें करें, घर में अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम है उसको शेयर करें. तो इस तरह से रेगुलर काउंसलिंग करनी पड़ती है. डॉक्टर एज वेल एज द लीडर हैज टू टेक इनटू कंसीडरेशन दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. एग्जैक्टली, इट इज वेरी मच देयर. मेंटल प्रॉब्लम, हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम डू क्रॉप अप.
So in the interest of time, a few quick short questions in the next 5 minutes before we wrap up. So again, another question from Bikash, leading exactly from the same answer. Do people play games there? It can be a good thing to fight loneliness.
एकदम बिल्कुल. Vikas, I mean, is he our senior from 84 batch?
I think so.
Okay, so Vikas Da, if I may say so, Vikas Bhai, I'm not sure whether he's the same Vikas Da we are talking about. So Vikas Da, for your information, I'm telling you, मैंने 2 स्टेशन से मैं जब लीडरशिप की तो दोनों स्टेशनों में जो आस पड़ोस की स्टेशन है उसके साथ हम लोगों ने कंपटीशन लगाया. उसमें चीनी लोगों को हम लोगों ने टेबल टेनिस में हराया. ये सुन के आपको बहुत हैरानगी होगी कि हमारे लोग वहां पर बहुत अच्छे टेबल टेनिस खेलने लगे, और ऐसा भी मैंने कहा कि जो लोग कभी टेबल टेनिस का बैट नहीं पकड़े हैं वो भी टेबल टेनिस अभ्यास करेंगे और सीख जाएंगे, वापस जाते समय वो घर में जाकर अपने बच्चे के साथ टेबल टेनिस खेलेंगे। तो ऐसा हुआ, लोग इतने अच्छी तरीके से टेबल टेनिस खेलने लगे, अल्टीमेटली हम लोगों ने चीनियों को हरा दिया। और रशियन तो छोड़ ही दीजिए, रशिया और चाइनीज स्टेशन हमारे बहुत नजदीक थे, तो इन दोनों को हम लोगों ने हराया, हम चैंपियन हुए वहां पर। 3 लोग ही थे उसमें से, हम लोगों को चैंपियनशिप मिला। बैडमिंटन में हम लोग हरा नहीं पाए बिकॉज चीनी बहुत स्ट्रांग थे बैडमिंटन में, तो हम लोगों को बैडमिंटन खेलने का मौका भी नहीं था। बैडमिंटन के लिए आपको क्या है, बाहर कोर्ट या तो इंडोर कोर्ट बनाना पड़ेगा, तो वो कोर्ट हमारे पास नहीं था, लेकिन टेबल टेनिस का हमारे पास टेबल था, तो टेबल टेनिस अभ्यास से हम लोगों ने ये प्रैक्टिस कर लिया। इसके अलावा रशियंस ने कहा कि पोकर की भी कंपटीशन की जाए, फिर वो जो कंप्यूटर गेम्स है उसकी भी हम लोग कंपटीशन लगाई, चेस की कंपटीशन थी, कार्ड्स की कंपटीशन थी। तो बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छी तरीके से हम लोग वहाँ गेम्स जो पास टाइम है, इवन कि हम लोग वहां पर वेब सीरीज भी देखते हैं। नेट को सबसे रात में जब सो जाते हैं लोग, तो सबकी नेट ऑफ करके हम उसे डाउनलोड करके हम बड़े स्क्रीन में वेब सीरीज भी देखते हैं। तो मनोरंजन का बहुत अच्छी तरह से ध्यान रखा जाता है, बिकॉज लोग अपने घर से दूर है, तो खाना, मनोरंजन, स्पोर्ट्स, सारी चीजें बहुत अच्छी तरह से किया जाता है।
Thank you. Next question is from, let me see the name, Shubidit Nondi. So the question is the galaxy visible by naked eye there? Doesn't the aurora interfere as a light pollution?
Very much, very much. I have been often told by these photographers who venture out in the night also. In the darkest night, they will go in the sea ice to put their costly cameras and all these gears. And they have been saying that, first of all, the station light actually very much hampers. वो बहुत आड़े आ जाता है बीच में। इसके अलावा that what is that called, aurora, that also is very much there. Naked eye, what is that called, center of galaxy or galaxy?
Yeah, just galaxy. Yeah,
galaxy can be seen through naked eye, very clearly it can be seen. But if you want to see the center of the galaxy, it cannot be seen by the naked eye. You have to use some good camera or telescope, then only you can see. But obviously your point is well taken. It actually hampers the photo videography shots in night.
So the last question for today, thank you very much. And the last question again from Rishi of 97 is, what kind of AQI is noted there?
AQI, air quality index. मेरे पास अभी फिलहाल तो डेटा है नहीं, तो बट इट इज वेरी वेरी प्योर, आई शुड से। मैंने ऐसा देखा गया है कि लोग जब एक एक्सपीडिशन खत्म करके जब नई टीम आती है तो लोग बीमार पड़ जाते हैं, बिकॉज ये लोग जब आते हैं तो ये लोग पैथोजेंस कैरी करते हैं अपने साथ, और वहां पर कुछ पैथोजेंस है ही नहीं। एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स बहुत अच्छी है, कहा जाता है एंटार्क्टिका में अगर एक बार जाए तो आपकी आयु 3 साल बढ़ जाती है, ऐसा है यहाँ पर एटमॉस्फेयर, बहुत ही क्लियर है। एग्जैक्ट डेटा AQI का इंडेक्स वैल्यू मुझे आपको बताना पड़ेगा बाद में, व्हाट इज द यूजुअल जनरल एवरेज AQI क्या है। फिलहाल मेरे पास डेटा नहीं है, लेकिन बहुत सीरीन है, बहुत प्योर है, और उसको बहुत अच्छी तरह से देखभाल किया जाता है ताकि एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स ना अच्छी रहे।
Thank you so much, Debdip. So just to sum it up, I think we had a fantastic 2 hours. I wish we could have played the video, but Debdip, don't forget to upload the videos in the WhatsApp groups and the channels, right?
Sure, I'll put those.
And this was an absolute wonderful session, excellent presentation. In conclusion, I want to leave you where we started. We started with Shackleton, and I want to leave you all with Shackleton. So for all those young budding individuals who want to go for the expeditions,
exactly,
I remember Shackleton, who said, men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. And to somebody like Debdip, and to somebody who can manage these wonderful expeditions and come back, I leave you with another piece of Shackleton. Loneliness is the penalty of leadership, but the man who has to make the decisions is assisted greatly if he feels that there is no uncertainty in the minds of those who follow him, and that his
Exactly.
orders will be carried out confidently and in expectation of success. Debdip has exactly delivered on this promise of Shackleton, and it's wonderful to have Debdip amongst all of us. Thank you everyone for your participation today. Thank you everyone for your attendance. We look forward to another interesting Adda very soon. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and the rest of your day, no matter wherever you are in whichever part of the world. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. So, all the aspiring scientists, all the aspiring kids who have seen today's program, as well as people, सबको बताइए वहां पर लॉजिस्टिक्स की प्रोग्राम है. आप वेल्डर हो, आप कारपेंटर हो, आप इलेक्ट्रिशियन हो, आप अंटार्कटिका जा सकते हो. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सिर्फ साइंटिस्ट हो, आप जाओ. सब तरह के लोग वहां पर जरूरत है. तो ये अच्छी बातें सब में फैलाओ. हमें अंटार्कटिक एक्सपीडिशन में, भारतीय अंटार्कटिक एक्सपीडिशन में बहुत अच्छी लोगों की जरूरत है जो कि अपने एक्सपीडिशन को बहुत अच्छी तरह से कर सके. With these words, I'll end. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.